What's up, Summoners, and welcome back to another official Marvel Contest of Champions live stream here on twitch.tv/kabam and on the official Marvel Contest of Champions YouTube page. My name is Jax, and I'm one of your community managers. Excited to be here with you all today to talk the newest and most up-to-date information on content coming to the contest. Thank you so much, every single one of you Summoners, for being here. It's a Wednesday. We've changed things up. Thank you for being patient with us as we made adjustments to our schedule. But thank you so very much for being here. It is my favorite way to interact with all of you, and I hope that you all are looking forward to a great show here. Before we dive into things, let's say hello to all of our newcomers. This is a Wednesday. It's a change in our schedule, which means hopefully some people that previously were never able to make it here means that maybe for the first time you are able to make it here. So if you are a first-time chatter like Gummy Bear, please hop on into the chat and let us know where you are tuning in from. Like Amersup is in Mexico. Ooh, everybody, welcome on in. We've got Vortex in Sydney, Australia. We've got Priyak is at work. Very good. Don't get fired. It's very important. We've got Capitan here, first time from Georgia in the U.S. We've got Sweden with Noir Spider. Welcome on in, everybody. Again, thank you so very much. Tuning in from all over the world. One of my favorite things to see about this community is just the absolute international reach. We are pulling people together in this moment from all over the world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's go over the ground rules before we dive into the schedule here. And if you've been here before, please say it with me, because there's one rule and one rule only. Don't be a jerk. That's right. It should be easy. This is a game. We are all here because we are passionate about a game. It is meant to be fun. Myself and the individuals in this room are so fortunate that we make our living doing something fun with play. It should be a good time. So please do not get in each other's way of just trying to enjoy yourself. Again, we're just here to have fun with each other as a community. If you break the one and only rule, don't worry, we've got mods watching. Shout out to our mods at Kabam TwitchED and the official at Kabam account, and of course those volunteer moderators that we have as well. Thank you for all that you do. They're going to be watching. If you decide you want to spam things, you want to yell things, you want to be upset about stuff, they're going to help you find the door. Again, this is a game and I understand the passion, and that can be awesome, and it often is, but if that passion leads to aggression and anger, this is not the space for that, all right? You can be angry, that's totally valid, that's totally reasonable, but do not take it out here on myself, the mods, or the other community members. So, thank you very much to our moderators. We will do Q&A throughout the show, so if you have any questions that you would like to have addressed, please keep them on topic, but please tag at Kabam TwitchED or at Kabam in the chat. Again, make sure you're watching over here on twitch.tv/Kabam. That is where we will be pulling all of the questions from. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, thank you very much for being here, but pop on over to Twitch. That is where we are going to be doing the bulk of our engagement, as well as our giveaway at the end of the show. So what does this show look like? We're going to talk to you briefly about our June event quest and side quest, which will be launching in about about 2 hours here, time change. And then we're going to go briefly into Arcade and North Star, and when you can expect to grab those champs in the contest. We will then be joined by our guest, maybe our frequent flyer mile record holder here, John, to talk to us about our new Saga coming up here. And then we're going to be talking about a 3-month double track pass that will be starting up soon. We'll have some surprises along the way, and then we will get to the end of the show, and we will be doing a giveaway, giving away 10 of these 3-month double track passes. Stay tuned to the end of the show and make sure you're tuned in here live on twitch.tv/Kabam for all of that goodness. Again, we are giving away 10 of them, so there's a lot of opportunity. I think that might be the most anything that we've given away. Like during the 9 days of giveaway, we gave away 9 things each day, but I don't think we've given away 10 things. So, whoa, record setting. Before we dive into the meat of the show, I need to talk to you all. I'm going to minimize chat for probably the next 5 minutes, but the mods are hanging out, and if there's anything that I need to address in the next 5 minutes or so, I will. I just need to remain focused, and I can't be distracted for the next 5 minutes. I have to give you all information because changes have happened that have impacted you and will impact you in certain ways. And I think that we operate within this community with a sense of transparency and honesty to give you guys an understanding of exactly what to expect, I think is very par for the course here. Admittedly, this is something that I've been thinking about and mulling over and ruminating on for about a week now on how to talk about this and how to address this. I don't think that there is a perfect way, nor do I think I could have found one if I was given another 3 weeks. But what's changed and how is it going to impact you? So members of our team who have been integral to community management and the operation of this live stream are no longer with us on this team operating this live stream. I think publicly, many of you will know, community manager Kabam Mike is no longer with us. Additionally, Rob, who was running a lot of our live stream technical side of things, is no longer here either. So what does that mean for you? We'll start with Rob. Rob took these streams and this concept when I brought it to him and to the team in general last year. Or a year and a half ago at this point, and said, let's run with this. Rob came from a news broadcast background and said, let's do everything we can to make these streams as incredible as they can be. Rob never took the bare minimum as an option. Rob always pushed for more. Rob always wanted a new layer of polish. It felt like Rob was always in this studio. I would show up early to start the stream. Rob beat me every single time. If I stayed late for rehearsals and things, Rob stayed later. He took what was a handful of cameras in a empty meeting room where we just stacked furniture on the other side of the office and turned it into a news broadcast quality live stream production for you all. We played a round of Summoner Squabble a couple weeks ago. Rob took that and ran with it. He made that thing look absolutely incredible. Rob's impact on this stream, on myself, working with him very closely to make these streams happen, that impact cannot be understated. We have our team working very hard behind the scenes to make sure that we're still here. So thank you for your patience as we had to shift a Friday stream to a Wednesday. We are going to continue to attempt to make our live stream schedule consistent for you all. And we have our team, our extended video team, Finton and James, working very hard behind the scenes to take a news broadcast board and make it something that we can operate for you. So how does that impact you? These streams are going to shift a little bit. We might experience technical hiccups as we run through this show. Please be patient with us. We are going to do everything that we can. And again, the team working on this has been working very, 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 very hard. So please, they deserve a ton of respect for this because we wouldn't be able to do the show without them. So a big thank you to Rob. We'll miss you. And thank you again to James and Finton for making the show happen. And now for Mike. Mike's no longer here. Mike, for some of you might not know who Mike is. Let's start there. Mike is a community manager who's been with MCOC for 8 years plus. Mike was my boss, is my friend, is my mentor, etc. And he hired me 2 years ago, and he's taught me almost everything I know about being a part of this community and what community means. Him no longer being here hurts. It's difficult. He was a leader. He was a cheerleader. He kept us going. He made us feel confident and capable, informed, and able. I think those of you who have interacted with Mike in the past understand just the impact that he has. I know that Mike at some point became a controversial character. But I think being in a community for 8 years, and the responsibility of a community manager is not always to say yes to the community. I think inevitably you end up in conflict. Inevitably you can't be everyone's favorite person. And I don't think anyone truly understands how much of an advocate Mike was for you guys in the community. He worked very hard behind the scenes to make sure that your voices were heard. There were meetings he's gone into and very stubbornly would not take no for an answer because the community needed whatever they needed. Mike was willing to go the extra mile for anyone. Anyone who's been to any of our live events and interacted with him only has positive things to say. So how does this impact you? I have people scrambling internally to attempt to support the community team moving forward so that there isn't a substantial impact to you, but inevitably there will be a period of transition in which we are going to be trying to get our feet back under us. So please be patient with us as we kind of slow things down and try to adapt. I think you know, we're working tirelessly. I think we have also prioritized key pieces of communication to you all. So, you know, event quests, side quest information, that stuff gets to you. War updates, that gets to you. We're going to try and make sure that everything gets to you when it needs to. But things like, you know, being super present in the forums and the Discord, that's going to need to shift as we have. We're stretched a little thin, to say the least. I want to extend a massive thank you to everyone so far who's reached out to myself, to Mike, to anyone to express condolences in some capacity, to express support in some capacity. I think that speaks volumes about the quality of this community, that there is a level of understanding of Mike's impact and the forecasting of what that means for the team moving forward. From the game team to community members to everyone internally who's reached out, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Having that support means the world. Again, from the community side, those of you who've reached out to Mike directly, I've spoken to him. That means the world to him as well. So we're going through some changes here. Please bear with us. We are going to try to keep knocking it out of the park for you guys as best we can. A massive thank you to every single person who's working to make this happen, who's shown any support whatsoever, and a big thank you to Rob and Mike. We're gonna miss you, is all I can kind of say on that. Because this is going to be a drastic tonal shift, give me a minute. We're gonna hit a BRB screen. James, are we all right with that? We'll be back in less than 60 seconds because I just feel like it's weird for me to go from here to start yelling about video game stuff. So just give me a second. We'll be right back. Thank you. And welcome back, Summoners. Like I said, a dramatic tonal shift, but let's get down to business. It is June, as many, as is true with every month. We've got a lot of content coming your way, so let's dive in real quick here, because this will be live for you in-game in about an hour and 45 minutes. So we have an event quest for you all this month called Fun, All Fun in Games. Thank you very much, James. Responding to the Alpha Flight distress call, Northstar arrives in New Manhattan only to discover that he is a player in the deadly games of arcade. To defeat this challenge, they'll need the Summoner as their player too, while they try to button mash through the lethal levels of this treacherous Trap Master. See if you're leveling up or checking out in All Fun and Games. Ooh, very cool art. Again, we'll be talking more about it coming here, but you guys have a lot of like very awesome retro-inspired art coming your way in the next couple of months here, so get excited for that. We'll dive into our side quest here, Terror Twister. Arcade is unveiling his deadliest new attraction in the battle realm. Terror Twister is sure to send a chill down the spine of any summoner. Travel down a path defeating opponents and collecting path rewards on the way to an increasingly powerful final boss. The twist is that the final boss is by default not very powerful, but with every defeated opponent on the path, the final boss's buff profile grows more threatening and complex. The player must balance between acquiring path rewards and ensuring their survival. Again, very cool art. So this side quest is a relatively new structure, I think entirely new structure, where you are placed on a path. Between you and the boss, there are 3 fights. Before each fight, you choose path A or path B. They have different rewards that you can see, but also you will be adding a buff to the opponent, the final boss, depending on which path you choose. So going through that route, you have a bit of a risk and reward. We give you agency, make your best choices. You can get through this 20 times throughout the event. You get 4 entries per week via a solo event. All of those details and more are live on our forum, so go and check those out. And additionally, there are a lot of very awesome rewards in this. Like, I built it out. I didn't make it, but I did the typing part and was like, whoa, there's a lot of 7-star shards in here for top tier players, top level players. So definitely get in there and get very, very excited about it because I think there's a great opportunity for you all there. Let's dive quickly into our champions. Of course, our first champion to come to the contest this month is this little cutie here. We got a little arcade. Shout out to Tyler for bringing this to us live on set. We've got Arcade joining the contest. We are going to show you a quick snippet from the deep dive, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Push them back toward the wall. You could use your heavy to place a poisonous cloud and start building your arcade tokens. Your booby trap in the corner will make the defender more likely to use their special attack. So, bait a special and then chain your heavy after you're punished to trigger the trap and gain more tokens. From here, max out your power and perform a light ending combo to disable your special 3 and use your special 2 in the corner. Feel free to play a little aggressive, since your tokens will let you auto-block incoming attacks. Then, use your special 1 to place the rest of your debuffs and watch the opponent melt in your traps. And hey, don't forget about those pre-fights that grant different immunities and benefits to Arcade at the start of the fight. These allow him to take a variety of different fights in different ways. And while in no way required, Arcade synergizes nicely with the Collar Tech Mastery, gaining increased attack rating and reducing the opponent's defensive combat power rate by 7% for each unique personal damaging debuff. There are lots of ways to use Arcade, so depending on the fight before you, choose the right pre-fight and let the games begin.
All right, everybody, that is a quick look at Arcade. The full deep dives for both of these champions went live on the weekend, so if you want to know more, please head over to our YouTube pages for Arcade and Northstar. Both deep dives are there. You will be able to get Arcade in a pre-release bundle starting tomorrow on June 6th, and then will be available in Crystals and Arenas on June 13th. Again, June 6th for pre-release bundles, and Crystals and Arcades on June 13th. And Arcades and Arenas on June 13th. We are going to keep going here. We're going to go right into Northstar. Again, a big shout out to Karate Mike for pulling this all together and letting you all know exactly what you need to know. We're going to let you take it away here, Karate Mike.
To begin, strike the opponent with your light attacks to start building up your reverb charges. While ramping, you could complete light ending combos to stack on as many as possible. Build to under your special 3. Then, dash in and cancel your medium into a special to trigger speed burst, gain prowess, and convert your reverb charges into reverb passives. Since your specials will cost less power, you could follow it up immediately with your special 1 to inflict slow, pause your effects, and of course, burst the opponent down. From here, Continue using your special ones until Speed Burst expires or the opponent is knocked out. Now, keep in mind, against skill champions, performing a second medium attack will inflict an armor break debuff that will lower the opponent's critical resistance by 80%. And the more specials that you use, the more prowess you'll gain. Speaking of, in a longer fight, you could use your Special 3 to increase the chance of triggering prowess, reverb, and pause effects by 110%. Plus, you'll be able to easily max out your momentum, leading to more prowess, bigger specials, and mind-blowing bursts of reverb damage. And at 10 momentum, your special attacks will leave the opponent passively stunned, making it easier to chain specials and close out those fights with big crits and monstrous red damage.
And that is a quick snip from the deep dive for Northstar. Again, head on over to the official Marvel Contest of Champions YouTube page for the full deep dive. They went live this past weekend. You can get all the information you need and more. The pre-release bundle for Northstar goes live on June 18th, and then they will be available in crystals and arenas on June 27th. I'm very excited for both of these champions to come to the contest. Admittedly, I knew very little about either of them. Arcade looks super cool. Seeing these animations, like just traps everywhere, that's a whole new bag. Again, shout out to the art team for their excellent work on these champions on the visual perspective, and to everybody who worked to create them as well. I hope you guys are excited. Let me know right now in chat, are you more excited for Arcade or Northstar coming to the contest later this month? A couple of quick date reminders for you. We are in the middle of Spring of Sorrow. We have fight number 3 going live on June 12th, and fight number 4 going live on June 26th. I'm thinking I see a little more Arcade than I see Northstar, but it is awesome to see a little bit of love for both sides here. I think Northstar is from Alpha Flight. Is that right? Did I make that up? Someone?
Yeah.
I see nods. Sure. Thank you. And I know that we've seen for a long time a number of requests for more Alpha Flight action. So I'm very, very excited. Again, later this month, go check out both of them. We are going to move along here, and to help us transition, we are going to show you one of the coolest motion comics that we have created. And when we get back, we are going to be joined by our guest to talk about arcade games. So James, we can throw the vid.
What brings joy to this broken world? Games! Glorious, wonderful games! And all games need players. What good is an empty arcade? All of this magic with no one to be dazzled by it? My games provide both entertainment and clarity. It's a world made only of winners and losers. Many will play, most will fail. But what a show you'll put on! Ready to prove your might? The first game is on me! Getting out alive, however, well, that's up to you.
All right, that is an emotion comic for arcade games, and a shout out to everybody giving praise to the voice actor, but I wanted to call out Paper Tissue Twitch, who says, sad it's not voiced by Jim Carrey. We tried. We tried to get Jim Carrey. We tried to get his people on the phone, but he was busy, you know, Sonic 3 or whatever. All right, let's move along here. We are going to be talking about our second ever Saga arcade games. Please welcome back to the show. We've got John here. John, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm living. Yeah. I like the X-Men shirt. You dressed the look. You got the coat. You're looking great. How are things?
You know.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's been a time.
Yeah.
Before we get into this, I just also wanted to give a shout out to Rob. As you mentioned, I've done these streams a lot. One of the reasons I felt so comfortable coming back is because of how easy Rob made it. So thank you, Rob. And then, of course, to Mike. I started, I think, a couple months before you did at Kabam. Right from the first moment Mike really helped me understand what the community was and what it needed, and that's been really crucial to my role. So, bottom of my heart, both you guys, you're already missed. Thank you.
Yeah, well said. John, you've been on the show a number of times, but again, we're hoping every single show we do, we bring in new eyes. So for anyone who might not know, can you let them know exactly what your role is here?
Sure. So I work on the design team, and basically my role is to stitch together the different parts of the game into some sort of coherent experience for summoners. Yeah,
that's awesome. And like, summoners out there playing the game, they have their hands on your work pretty consistently, pretty much all over. Your influence is felt. Is there anything in particular that you're exceptionally proud of that you've had an impact on the contest this far?
I've been really proud of what we're doing right now. I think our communication between the game team and the summoners has really improved over the last couple of years. So obviously huge credit to yourself and the rest of the community and marketing teams. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the number one thing that I would say I'm proud of. That, and that's why I'm willing to come back time and time again to these streams.
That's excellent. I know we have a couple of comments saying, if we're able to turn up John's mic a little bit. I think you're pretty much as close to your face with it as you can be. But I've also seen a number of comments saying that you look like Arcade. Can we punch in on John's? Yeah, right? It's pretty good.
I'm looking at the camera so I can't see.
No, it's pretty. Okay. It's just the hair, but I think it's good. Shout out to everybody who drew that connection. All right, so we are here to chat about the second Saga.
Yeah.
Of course, we didn't bring you in. We wanted to, but you were on a beach in Hawaii, talking about the first ever Saga. But again, Mike and I sat down and chatted, spurred on largely by the communications that you gave us. So how do you feel that the first Saga went with Magic Thief and Ex Magica?
I would say mixed.
Okay.
I think that there are a lot of good things to build on, and I'm going to talk specifically about how we plan to do that. I think what we found was that the first Saga did a really good job of engaging our most committed summoners, right? Our most engaged sort of high-end players, but left some of our more casual players in the dust. So we're going to be making some changes to try to address that. I also think that just the problems that we had with the Magic Thief tactic and Alliance War in general kind of cast a little bit of a shadow over the Saga. I think if the tactic had been liked more, the Saga probably would have been better received by the community. But I mean, we know all of that. I promise you all, we understand that, and we are going to be making some changes to address that.
Yeah, and again, credit to your team, credit to the larger team. We all work very hard together to understand exactly not just what the community is saying, but what they're feeling and why. And you guys do a great job of taking that feedback, listening to it, looking for opportunities and making adjustments to get everybody more involved. Again, we want everybody to be able to enjoy as much of this game as they can, right? So we're moving in. How are you feeling about arcade games?
I'm feeling great about it. I absolutely love the theme that the team came up with.
Yeah.
And I also am feeling quite confident about some of the design changes we're making specifically to the content in the Saga. So as we get into it, I want to talk, about what those changes are. Basically, for arcade games, we have 3 design goals.
Yeah.
The first one is simplicity. We really want...
Hey, James, can we pull up our slideshow we've prepared, please? Thank you. Everybody, welcome to Arcade Games. James, I'm not able to use my buttons. Are you able to click in, I think, to the window, I think is what we... Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, we've got 3 design goals. This is the intentionality that we like to give you all so that you're not asking, hey, why is a thing that way? We're going to tell you right now.
Yeah, so, let me get in here.
There we go. Look at that. Perfect.
Okay, we're good. Yeah, so the first one is simplicity. Basically, I talked about this when I was on the holiday stream. We think that the game has become too big and too complex for the vast majority of our players, so we are going to try to simplify that. The second is approachability. What I mean by this is we want more of our content to be more enjoyable for more players. That doesn't mean that we're going to stop producing hard content. Of course not. We know that there is a group of players who will disengage if they don't have a challenge in the game. But we want more of the content to be doable by more players. And so I'll be talking about that specifically as we get into some of the mode changes. There are a lot of them that are coming with arcade games. And the third one is clarity. This is something that we're going to have to work on over the course of the year. But basically the idea is to provide a more consistent value proposition. Why should I be doing these different pieces of content? You'll see improvement with that over the course of arcade games, and then over the rest of the year there are going to be some additional features that we're building to sort of like clarify the rewards in different places, make our events easier to understand, and those types of things. So these are the 3 design goals. You will see basically this threaded throughout all the changes I'm going to talk about today.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this, and we've already sort have seen this shift towards simplicity. I used last month's side quest as an example. It was very straightforward. The team did a great job of trying to simplify and make everything right in front of your face of where the value proposition is, like you've said. So again, we're going to kind of continue that over the next 3 months, and I'm excited for it. Moving along here, why don't you take us through the lore there?
Sure, I'm just going to say a little bit about this. This is kind of going to be told over the course of the 3-month saga, but basically Arcade is coming to the contest, and with him his murder worlds, which are basically assassination theme parks that the summoners will be venturing forth into over the course of the next 3 months.
Yeah. I think it's going to be very cool. I also enjoy that we got murder through the censor and ran with it, and everyone was like, use it as liberally as possible. Because like I'm writing comms and I'm like, oh no, it's not when you kill someone in a fight, it's when you defeat someone or KO someone. And then we're like, Murder World! And I'm like, okie dokie. So everybody welcome to Murder World.
Yeah, so I guess there's a reason that the saga is called Arcade Games. But I will say that I'm very excited about that because we're going to use that play on words very liberally. There's going to be a bunch of old school arcade references, a bunch of really amazing sort of 16-bit style art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
Cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I also wanted to shout out Fearless Girl 123, who is currently recruiting for their alliance in the Twitch chat. So if you guys want to join DCM1 Alliance, apparently they're looking for people, and I think that might be the first time I've seen that. I just think that's great. All right, back to the show. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this art is.
The art looks amazing.
I know.
There's going to be so much art like this, some absolutely incredible profile pictures that the art team's working on. As usual, they absolutely killed it. I just want to say actually a huge thank you to everyone on the team who worked on Arcade Games. Getting these sagas out the door is a huge team-wide collaboration. And as we do more of them, we will get better at it, and they will get better. So thank you to everyone who worked on this.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We talked a little bit about it yesterday, that like, the saga lasts 3 months. So to a summoner, that might feel like sitting in that saga is a long time. But in terms of like game development, that flies by, that disappears. So it's kind of a bit of a learning curve for summoners to see, yes, we are listening and we're learning and we're developing, but it doesn't happen as quick because of the timeline of game development in general. So again, I know we've already gone through this presentation, and I'm excited for you all to see it because there's a lot of lessons learned and changes moving forward that I think you're going to like a lot.
Absolutely. So first, we're just going to talk very briefly about the tactic. This is already in game, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but basically, House of Mirrors, the defensive tactic here, has auto block and evade threats, and then Clarity basically has ways to address those. So we'll see how it goes. I am excited for it. I think it's going to strike a better balance than Ex Magica and Magic Thief did. It remains to be seen. We'll see how War goes, but I think it's going to be more approachable than the last tactic.
Yeah, I think so too. And like you said, I think for some people, especially highly engaged Alliance War players, sagas in general came down to the tactics, right? Sure, sagas is a lot more than that, and it will be even more so for this one. But like you said, I think that carried such weight the first time around that there was a big learning opportunity here moving forward. So I'm really looking forward to people getting into this and hopefully enjoying it a lot more. And of course, we have featured champions for each of them. So lots of cool options on here. John, who are you looking to have as your MVP from this roster?
It's really hard to say, obviously, before we get into a full Alliance War season. I personally have a rank 3 Venom, so hoping that he doesn't get banned all the time. We'll have to see. I think Mulgod could be back with Omega Days sourcing him to players. I think he could be making a comeback here. But yeah, we'll see. Offensive Maestro could be cool too. Haven't really done that. How Bullseye does on attack could also be very interesting. So I think there's a lot of really interesting questions here that will be answered over the course of the next 3 months.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an exciting time. It's always great to see new champions get this kind of feature, and I think that was one of the great things with the intentionality of Sagas is putting a spotlight on some champions that usually maybe drift into the mid to lower end of people's consciousness in terms of champs. So looking at our second list here, some other very, very cool options here. A lot of Spider-Verse.
There's a lot of Spider-Verse, a lot of Hulk. A lot of these tech champions are just annoying defenders without the Saga, so they will continue to be annoying, I'm sure. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Some of those Spider-Verse champions I'm pretty scared of if I don't have my Venom to fight them, but we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you all are as well. Let's continue things here. We're going into side quest territory. So walk us through. I know we kind of touched on both of these things a little bit in the show, but John, I want to give you your opportunity here. Let us know what's going on with side quests.
Absolutely. This slide was mostly just to remind me to say something about side quests. I'm not going to talk about the specifics, but the idea here is that we want to make them simpler. I talked about this on our holiday stream again. Trying to move more of the rewards from events and objectives into the quests themselves because that's easier for summoners to understand, having fewer overall of those objectives and events for each of the different side quests.
Yeah.
I really want the side quest to be something that if you have 5 minutes to play our game, you can pick up your phone and play it.
I love that.
I don't want it to be something that you can accidentally mess up. And so you will see our designs trending in this direction. Again, it can't happen all at once. I think what some summoners don't understand is we work many months ahead. So when I was talking about doing this on that holiday stream, now we're starting to see some of those changes in game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're currently working on sort of like the August, September side quests. And then there's some updated rewards as well. So very excited to see that. There's some Titan shards in there now, more 7-star shards, and more stuff for summoners all along the progression. So
yeah, no, I think it's fantastic to see. And like I said, there is a lot of there's a lot of 7-stars in there. You're able to get in there, or 7-star shards. You're able to get, I think, like 1.5 full 7-star just from the side quest this month. I think, if I did math, or maybe just shy of one. There's a lot. You're getting a big leap forward in your 7-star progression. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people.
Yeah, also something to note for players is our new Cavalier crystal tuning that gets rid of the 3 stars will be featured in the meta shard crystals moving forward. So there's going to be a lot more 4 stars and therefore ISO in those.
Yeah.
For anybody that's short of that right now.
We adjusted drop rates for a lot of our crystals. A lot of them, I mean, any adjustments we made swung in a very positive direction in terms of higher end acquisition for our summoners. So I think that's very, very exciting. Hop in the game, take a look at all of those new drop rates. They are, again, they're great. Removing 3 stars up to 4 stars, like it's definitely a big move in your favor. So we hope you're excited for that too. All right, this is an exciting time. We have our new featured chase champ. Everybody had fervor towards Nightcrawler in the first saga. It was very cool, of course. Pairing that with a buff, we said, don't expect a buff for every single one of these chase champs. We take a look here, and we now have Captain Marvel, what we refer to as, since there's 2, Captain Marvel movie on occasion. Can you walk me through the process of choosing Captain Marvel as our chase champion for the saga?
Sure. So Captain Marvel was released as a 7-star alongside the release of the movie last year, The Marvels. But the only place to get her was in, basically, we created a featured Paragon crystal, which was a photon Captain Marvel featured Paragon crystal.
Yeah.
And the only way to get her was to open those crystals. I opened a bunch of those crystals and got neither Photon nor Captain Marvel as it goes. But I was looking at the champion ownership rates for 7-star champions late last year or early this year. And Captain Marvel is by far the lowest owned of the available 7-stars. Like, it's not even close. She looks kind of like Punisher does at 6-star. Very, very few summoners have her. I think she's great. So wanted to give them an opportunity to collect her. And Arcade Games with her as a tactic attacker, I thought was the perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah, very cool. And of course, even more awesome pixel style retro inspired art here on screen, which I think is super duper exciting. Now these Magnetron crystals, we'll dive a little bit more into this. Maybe I'll just go on the next slide. Yeah,
Sure.
perfect. Let's dive in here on these Magnetron crystals.
Yeah, so the way that it works is, for Ex Magica, you were collecting runestones, which were essentially just a currency. You trade them in the store for a Nightcrawler. We wanted to do something different for the second saga, and so we came up with this idea of opening these Magnetron crystals, which are effectively Paragon crystals. They do have a chance to drop the 7-star Captain Marvel. And then opening those, you make progress through this solo event. And if you collect enough of them, you can make it to the end of the solo event and collect a guaranteed 7-star Captain Marvel. The solo event looks quite similar to the Magic Heist Arena solo event. There's some Sig Stones rank up gems. There is that 1 to 2, 7-star 1 to 2 rank up gem, which we didn't have in the first saga. And so, I thought this was just like a much more interesting, interactive way to source Sorcerer than to just do a currency.
Yeah, I think we've talked about kind of taking lessons learned and making adjustments. It seems like this is very inspired by Omega Days, which we know players loved being able to hop in there and chase crystals. Is that kind of what we've started to look at here?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of a hybrid of those two different events. So if you are Paragon or Valiant, you will be able to collect enough crystals to get to the top of this. If you are below there, you won't be able to make it through all these milestones. But keep in mind that those Magnetron crystals are effectively Paragon crystals. So if you're an uncollected player collecting those Paragon crystals, you're probably going to get some 5- and 6-star champions that you don't already have out of them as well. So the crystals themselves will also hold some value for you.
Sorry, just reading anti-pride rhetoric in our chat. Hey, if you think it's cool to come in here and stand in the face of Pride Month, I think you need to read a room. And you might see your way out of this one pretty soon. So, sorry, I got distracted. I love being rewarded for being rewarded. You know what I mean? These are opening crystals. You're popping things and getting new champs for your roster. And then as you're getting more from the solo event. So I think that's really awesome. I think that's why so many people connected with the Omega Days event and that sort of stuff as well. So I'm really looking forward to people getting their hands on this. Let's show them where they'll be able to get all these crystals. And again, there's a lot of learnings with this as well. So let John explain. Don't read things and jump to conclusions.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, there's going to be quite a few changes to the way that we source these things. So the first change that you will notice is that you need 100 to complete the event, and there are 104 earnable total. So there are a few extras. So if you miss 1 or 2 somewhere along the way, so at the end of the world, you could now still complete the event. There's going to be a large helping in the side quest. We call them meta events internally, so that's why they say meta here. In the side quest, there's 30 in the double track event that we're going to be talking about later. Those are all in the free track of the double track. You can collect all of those for free. And then there are some in the Alliance War Encounter Showcase and Battlegrounds and Incursions, but I'm going to talk about how we adjusted the way that we were sourcing this type of thing in those modes to make them more accessible to more players. I will be talking about each of those modes specifically and changes that we're making for arcade games.
Yes, we will be talking about them because I already see people saying, stop with Battlegrounds. But hey, you're going to like what's coming here. So again, worth noting, you have access to 104 crystals. You need access to 100 crystals. James, I lost my clicks. Boom, thank you very much. Again, you need 100 crystals to clear this solo event. We're giving you 104 just by looking through this table, this chart here. So let's talk about some of these big changes because they're going to be very exciting.
Sure. So first up is the Alliance War Encounter Showcase. So the Alliance War Encounter Showcase will always be a saga behind because basically what we're doing is we're taking the tactic and important fights from those Alliance War seasons and putting them into a quest once that season is over. So we're going to be making some pretty substantial changes to the Alliance War Encounter Showcase, which we call AWES. That align with those overall saga goals. Specifically for Alliance War Encounter Showcase, we're looking to reduce the difficulty a little bit overall, and then highlight and reinforce the saga, not just the tactics. So what we mean by that is, for instance, using some of those Alliance War tactic defenders on attack throughout the showcase.
That's really cool. I like that. I like that approach. There's more to go. I know I'm interrupting your flow, but just go.
That's fine.
I'm just excited.
You're not interrupting. You're chatting. So in terms of some specific specific notable changes, there are some new beneficial nodes that simulate war boosts. So summoners who play high-tier war will know that you use things like the White Magneto pre-fight and different boosts in war to get through some of the more challenging fights. We've now created some nodes that will simulate that in the Alliance War Encounter Showcase to make those fights feel more like they do in Alliance War. We've avoided the toughest tactic defenders, Serpent, Killmonger, and Bullseye. The most obvious boss for this would have been a tactic Bullseye boss, as players would have seen a bunch in Alliance War. We decided to spare summoners that. I personally am thankful for that.
I'm also very grateful because when they yell at me, so thank you for not going that direction.
Yeah, no problem. And finally, reducing the energy cost. It was 5 per step last time. It's going down to 3 per step, and we've increased the reward. So there is a Deathless Vision piece, as well as some of those Magnetron crystals in the rewards. We have moved those to completion, so you only have to do the quest once. You can take a look at the 2 different paths, figure out which one is best for you and your roster, and just do it once. And then we've added some Titan shards to exploration. So the end effect of these changes is that the Alliance War Encounter Showcase will be easier and be more rewarding the next time it comes around.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great. Like you said, moving things to completion, I think, is a big move, a big positive for everybody. But still incentivizing exploration with Titan shards, I think it's kind of a double whammy, double positive for our community. So I know the first one, like you said, it was our first attempt at something. We're going to take a lot of learnings and move forward, so I'm excited for people to get their hands on this as well. I believe we do have a slide showcasing dates, approximate dates for these types of things, because they will be out over the next 3 months as the saga progresses. So we'll give you a little bit of info, and then as we get closer, we're going to make sure that you guys are up to date on that stuff too. So let's take a look at incursions here. Hey, John, how have the incursions looked in the last week or so in this challenge incursions mode?
Well, we had that little issue with the build rollover earlier this week. In general, Ex-Magicka's incursions have been difficult. We knew that champion restrictions in incursions was going to be hard. We knew that it was going to be more difficult. And now it's pretty clear that it's a lot more difficult. And so we are going to be making some changes again to incursions to make it more approachable to more players. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. The intent of this isn't to make it easy, but it's to find a better balance between sort of challenge and frustration. I think Ex-Magicka incursions leaned a little bit too far towards that frustration side. So in terms of specific changes, the Saga challenge sector will now only be 15 zones. The same node profiles as the existing Sector 6. So what that means is basically sectors 1 through 15 in the challenge sector will have the same number of nodes as the current sectors zones 1 through 15.
Right.
There's slightly increased defender attack and health compared to the existing ones.
Yeah, looking to still find that balance, right? Bringing down a lot of zones, but still making it that you're not just running through everything.
Exactly. Those first zones are pretty much gimmies with the current tuning, so they'll be a little bit harder. But of course, there will be the 5-minute champion refreshes, so if you get stuck in one of those first zones, you can easily just restart. The effect of this is that doing this will be slightly harder than the current zones 1 through 15, but it is going to be much, much, much easier than doing the full 25 zones in Ex-Magicka was. We're also changing a number of the nodes so that they scale off attacker rather than defender health. If you don't understand how these nodes work, this might not make sense, but to explain it very briefly, the biohazard node, which puts damage over time effects on the attacker, used to scale off the size of the defender, and because Incursion's defenders scale so large, you could get like a bleed that would just tick for like 10% of your health every tick. So that's going to change. It's going to make those nodes much easier to play your way through. We've removed some of the more limiting nodes as well as some of the more niche RPG champions like Photon and Maestro. We did initially plan to release a Deathless Vision piece as part of Incursions. We have decided to move that for now. We might return Deathless pieces and other things like that to Incursions once we find that balance. We'll see how it goes. If this is too easy, we might lean a little bit back in the other direction for the next saga. But it's definitely going to be a lot easier than Ex-Magicka was. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. There are Magnetron crystals in here, but they're in the first 10 zones. They'll be basically any endgame player looking to collect those should be able to get the first 10 zones done. Yeah,
you don't have to clear all 15. Again, additional rewards await, but in terms of this chase for Captain Marvel, only the first 10 zones. And again, I think you touched on a lot of very important things, looking for that sweet spot between challenging and frustrating. So like you said, We're going to continue to iterate. We're going to continue to learn and grow. That doesn't necessarily mean that things are always getting easier. We are looking for that sweet spot. So if we find that it's done in 5 minutes and people are getting through it real quick, we might bring it back up. So as is the challenge of our game team often.
Indeed.
Looking at raids here, I know some people have seen some changes as we have enlistment up earlier this week. So we've got some changes to raids. I think that people are looking forward to it.
Yeah, speaking of done in 5 minutes, the current difficulty of raids is definitely a little bit too easy. We are seeing alliances blow through it. The intent for raids is for it to be a challenge, and so this new raids update is going to be harder than the current map. It's not going to be as hard as the initial release of raids. Again, the goal is to find the sweet spot here between something that's challenging but still approachable for the players who want to do it. There's new bosses, new role boosts, bigger role pools, and new boss mechanics. Damage over time champions are getting some love. Currently, they aren't viable in raids. They will be with this update. There are updated ranked rewards, so it is getting a little bit harder, but it will be more rewarding as well. And there are also Valiant loot drops. So those path rewards where you choose between a Paragon and the other drop, there's now a Valiant option. The floor of those drops has been brought up significantly from where it was.
Yeah.
So it will be more rewarding for players as well as they make their way through this. We'll see how it goes. I think it's next week, raid week. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see how that goes.
Excuse me. I'm really excited, of course. People are already seeing the kind of changes to new additions of champs to the pools, which I think is fantastic. People are looking forward to maybe bringing in some of their other favorites that they weren't able to use previously. I think that's rad. Also wanted to call out Migs, who says, sick background. Yeah, this is a lot of the art that we're going to be seeing in the arcade games sagas. It's going to be very, very cool. Again, I really hope that our art team had a blast with it, because seeing it, it seems like a labor of love. Like, to me, this reads as someone who was like, I loved playing arcade games growing up. I have this job, and now I get to make retro-inspired stuff. Oh, it just seems like passion all the way through. Also worth calling out, one of our mods mentioned to me that we have more info on the crystal drop rates coming out on Friday. Keep an eye out for that on our blog and the in-game news panel. It will give you a more obvious one-to-one comparison of what we had versus what we'll have coming up. So let's keep it going here, because we got some big changes. This is a happy one, I think a lot of people are going to be excited about.
Yeah, so big changes to Battlegrounds. I'm going to be on stream, I believe, next Friday to talk more about the victory track changes. Summoner's got a little preview of that in the patch notes. Some very, very large changes to the way the victory track works. I will be back to talk about that. In terms of the Saga chase itself, there are Magnetron crystals. We have put them in the objectives this time. So those objectives that spawn every 2 days, the win one objective will now have a Magnetron crystal in it for season 19. It's only one season. There are 14 of those, so there are 14 total crystals available. A couple things. Number one, those objectives do not stack. Okay, you have to do it every 2 days. Again, there are 4 extra crystals, so if you miss a couple along the way, it's not the end of the world. So that's something we learned from the Magic Heist Arena, right?
The objectives do not stack. Yeah. Tell your friends, don't yell at me about it later. They never have. This is not a change, and you deal with this every season, but I think we need to make sure you know. Objectives don't stack.
The objectives don't stack. So all that you need to do to collect all of the Saga Chase is win one Battlegrounds match every 2 days during season 19.
That's awesome.
A lot easier than finishing the victory track.
Yeah.
Now there is still a Deathless Vision piece at the end of the victory track in season 19, but again, I will be back next week to talk about how that is going to be much more accessible than the Deathless it was a guillotine piece that was in Battlegrounds a number of seasons ago.
Yeah. I think these are big wins. And again, the information that you're going to come back and discuss, like you said, people have seen in patch notes a little bit. I know that's got some coverage from our content creators as well, which I think is great. I think we want to bring you back to chat about it, because it can be interpreted as a negative. If you're missing some key details, you might not see the full benefit to it here. So we want to have a conversation with you all leading into the next Battlegrounds season, so that you can see the full positive that this is, because it really, really is for basically everybody.
Yeah, so I'll be back and I will talk specifically about how your experience is going to change based on what your current win rate is in the victory track. So
Exactly.
we can talk about that.
I'm really looking forward to it. That'll be a lot of fun. I know that there's a decent amount of frustration that's natural with a competitive mode in an otherwise not competitive game, aside from Alliance Wars. But the truest one-to-one competition, I know, can bring out a lot of frustrations in people. So I think being able to aid them along in their journey and being able to chat about that is going to be very, very enjoyable. So we will just keep rolling here. We got our Deathless vision. We chatted about this a little bit last month, of course, giving you some insight. We had some question marks that we have since confirmed otherwise. So, John, what about this stands out to you here?
Sure. So I believe summoners had seen most of this, but the main change is the final piece there, the Deathless gem. Again, this was initially slated for arcade games Incursions. The reason that we didn't announce that was because I wanted to wait to see how Ex Magica Incursions went before we committed to that, and as a result of how Ex Magica Incursions went, we decided to move that piece for now. So we have moved that to a new concept Everest quest that's going to be coming in August. So summoners remember last August we did a boss rush. This August we're doing something completely new. It has a little new piece of tech. It's a much larger endeavor, but much more novel, much more unique. And I'm really excited to see how summoners tackle this. I can tell you, from my perspective, from an execution standpoint, it will be easier than what we consider current Everest contest, Winter of Woe, and things like the Necropolis. From a planning and roster demand perspective, it will be heavier than those modes. So I'm very excited to see this. It's a completely new concept. I'm not saying it's going to be easier than doing Incursions, but obviously there's no RNG involved with it. So it will be more controllable by the summoner whether they decide to chase this piece or not.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a really positive impact for a lot of people, because I feel like with the RNG there's a layer of frustration that it feels outside of your control. And that is the nature of Incursions, that RNG is an integral part of that experience. But I feel like once summoners have a feeling that they are more in control of their own fate, it'll be a different story. So I'm really looking forward to people getting their hands on that.
Absolutely. I'll probably be back sometime in July to talk more in detail
about
that quest.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really exciting, especially anything brand new in terms of quest concepts, etc. I think people will love to see that info. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's take a look here. I believe this might be the first time, but it's unchanged. So this is how you are going to chase your 6-star, where you're going to get those currencies. If you are like myself and not up to the task of chasing 7 stars for this Deathless Vision adventure, this Deathless Champion adventure, please take a look at this chart here. It's unchanged. It's been the same for each of the previous champs, but we know that there's some goodness there. Cool. All right, we have a very important announcement to make. That's only an announcement to some people, I think. But did you know, and maybe you're hearing it for the first time ever here now, that Beta Ray Bill is coming to the contest? What? Woo. I know, an overwhelming hush falls over the audience as everybody is just beside themselves with this unexpected news. So, some of you, those of you who are in the know and want to be completely connected to everything, you already know I should be following the official Marvel Contest of Champions accounts on Twitter, the artist formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Well, wow. Big surprise, we're posting information there frequently. So many of you may have seen the teaser that went out last Thursday. Of course, at the time, the intended follow-up was immediately after it when the stream was planned for Friday. So we kind of shifted the narrative from, what could it be? Only for us to intentionally be like, it is! To now, with like a week in between, people being like, well, it is, right? Like, we've confirmed on our own time here. But hey, you have the official confirmation here right now that Beta Ray Bill is coming to the contest, and I'm excited. I'm a little pensive towards this, as I've expressed in the past. I really hope that this hasn't been a thing where it's just grown into a meme and people are like, yeah, bring Venom back to theaters, bring Beta Ray Bill to the contest. I hope you guys are very genuinely excited for this. We talked with Mike during the 9 days of giveaways last year as well, and we were like, I don't understand. Why do people love? And someone gave us a paragraph and we're like, this is why. And I was like, I get it a little bit more now. So since we have confirmation that might not be news to you all. We decided to go one step further, and we wanted to showcase what Beta Ray Bill's model is going to look like. There's going to be something a little finicky on this next portion. See if you can point it out. But James, can we show the people what they want to see? Let's give them Beta Ray Bill's model. Look at this horse, not horse, spacey boy. Again, just honestly, looking awesome and beefy. Look at those arms. That's a strong space horse alien boy. Not a horse, but looks kind of, but it's not. It's an alien, so it doesn't really matter. I guess we could just drop it and leave it at that. So again, we've got a name key thing, but we knew what we were getting ourselves into. And again, thank you for your patience as we sort out our new approach to our live streams here. But again, this character model looks awesome. I don't know what happened to his cape, but it got all torn up, probably in a cool battle. Maybe we'll never know, but maybe we do know. If you know, please tell me in the chat. John, what are your thoughts on Beta Ray Bill?
I am so excited for this. Looks absolutely incredible. I'm not going to say too much more than that. I am told that you're going to charge his hammer with lightning.
Cool.
So very excited to do that.
Yeah.
It's awesome that he's finally coming to the context.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know that this is, for me in my personal experience, this is probably the most requested champion I've seen in the 2 years that I've been here. Again, my hesitation being like, there's a lot of alignment on this. And you know what? Maybe we never have this much alignment on anything. Is it too good to be true? But I hope you guys are pumped for it. But not only that, some more exciting news, if we can hop back to our slideshow. Everyone say goodbye to not Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
She's still there.
Still there, in spirit. Stay with us. We appreciate you keeping us going here. This is the first time you're going to hear this. Beta Ray Bill will be available at the end of a summer double track event, similar to how we created Morbius and that chase and that acquisition method. We talked at that time extensively about how myself as a community manager, it's not my job to sell you stuff. That's not what I want to do. I want to bring you into the fold and get you excited for things happening in the contest, but I would be doing you a disservice if I did not showcase this very unique opportunity to acquire a very high level champion here. You're going to get a 7-star through this summer double track, again, similar to how we operated with Morbius. So let's take a look because there are some changes. This summer double track event will start on June 7th. That's this Friday. It will run all 3 months. 3 straight months here. So it is a 3-month event. You will not be able to acquire 3 one-month event passes. The only option is to get 3-month events. So if you come at this a week late, you can still get that 3-month pass. If you come at it a month late, you can still get the full 3-month pass because we do not want to lock you out of your opportunity if you had the desire to chase Beta Ray Bill. John, you mentioned a little bit about the context of change yesterday. Can you kind of add a little to things here?
I think you basically said it. First of all, I do not have the same qualms as you. Please buy this thing. The better that these initiatives do, the more of them that we can do.
Exactly.
And the Morbius double track went really well last year, and so this year we came to it, and we wanted to do it again, and we were talking about which champion it should be.
Yeah.
And we said, how cool would it be if it's one of the most requested champions right now? So I hope everyone's hyped about that. So we decided to make it a single double track. I've been calling it the Battle Ray Beta Pass.
Nice.
And the reason for that is, like you said, it's so that if someone comes in late, they don't get locked out. Last year, if you came in during the 2nd month, there was literally no way to get that initial token. Now you can still get this this double track and make it to the end. If you come in late enough, you obviously will have to spend some money to catch up, but it basically makes it more accessible to people.
Yeah, there are still catch-up mechanics. I also wanted to take a second to call out Duskasi, who says, birthday on the 7th, Yahoo. Happy early birthday to you. Make sure you get in there and get yourself a summer double track. Okay, some more additional changes or just, details here. The gold track is available to everyone, as it so often is, but the plat track's what's available for purchase. You get a 5 additional bonus crystals if you purchase this pass through the web store, so something to consider there. There are weekly boost events that allow you to catch up one day. That is something that's not brand new by any means. The last one of these dual track passes have this approach. It allows you to catch up even if you jump in to things late here. To those of you who have the Plat Pass, the paid pass, you will get 2 days to catch up each week. And if you complete all 3 months, you can get yourself a Beta Ray William. And I'm very excited for him to come to the contest. Space Horse representation's been lacking, so I'm pumped for that as well. So I hope you guys are excited about that. Please sound off in chat right now if you are excited. Of course, we told you leading into this stream that the giveaway would be 10 of these summer double tracks to 10 lucky people. Now you know why that is exciting as all heck. I hope you are pumped up for it. We will be doing that giveaway in just a moment here. John, before we dive into that giveaway, do you have any additional things you want to add about Beta Ray Bill or the summer double track event?
No, I think you said pretty much it all. I'm very excited for it. If I don't win, well, I guess I can't enter the.
Do you have your phone?
Thing.
You can
no,
enter.
I don't have my phone on me. So I guess I will be buying it as soon as it comes out.
Oh my goodness. Again, this is a reward for hard work. In a sense, right? You have to be dedicated for 3 months, but the barrier to entry to acquiring a 7-star through this method is very low compared to a lot of other methods. I think Morbius was kind of the first time that you joined us on a show to discuss more targeted, specific approaches to 7-star acquisition. So it's very cool. We were excited to see the success around Morbius and the fervor of that chase as well, which I think is fantastic. So it's great to see this coming back. And like we said, learning and reiterating on things as we move forward with them. So there's some cool stuff here for people.
Absolutely.
I'm pumped for it. And I think that's my last slide. We did it. We caught up. Thank you, James. Crushing the technical side of things. I really appreciate it. You want to do a giveaway?
Let's do it.
Let's do a giveaway. Now, this is one thing that we anticipated being a touch more difficult here, but we have plans. We have redundancies. We've got ideas. So, as we discussed ahead of time, we will be doing a giveaway for 10 of these summer double track passes. We have called them in the past with love sorry, I just got distracted by how large and unnerving Arcade is on the screen. Look at those eyes. Ooh. Anyhow, we with love referred to them as the triple double pass in the past. Of course, a basketball reference for all of those sports people out there. So we are going to do this giveaway right now. We are going to give away 10 of these lovely summer double track events. We are going to start that giveaway right now. For your opportunity to win one, please type in chat, ! Triple double. Woo, woo, woo. I guess I don't need these on here. Hold on. ! Triple double in the chat. Thank you very much to the mods who have pinned it at the top. Of course, you see all of your friends and colleagues typing it in chat currently, so that's all you need to do. ! Triple double in the chat. And I wish you all luck. We're going to keep this open for about 5 minutes here. We'll take a look at everything and we'll draw our lucky 10 winners. I'm looking forward to it. People in the room, are you guys entering? Saga is here. Saga is entering. All right, that's great. Good luck to you. You better not win, though. You better not win.
We'll draw an extra.
You better not win. I don't want to be. That's a scandal waiting to happen. All right, again, a couple of rules here. If you do not see a message from Streamlabs in chat, you have entered. I'm watching the counter go up. We're past 1,100 right now. Sometimes, often, every time. We overwhelm Streamlabs and its giveaway system, but it still keeps track. It just does not give you the message. Everyone gets one entry, so if you've typed it in once, you're in, I promise. Do not feel the need to add it many more times, although at this point, chat's chaos anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Additionally, if you win, I will be reaching out to you via Twitch. DMs. Only trust the official Kabam account, Kabam. Head on over and keep an eye on that because you have 48 hours to respond before Twitch shuts down that DM conversation. That's nothing we have any control over. 48 hours to get that response in, and then we will try to get that to you as soon as possible. Likely we'll set it up so you have it day one on Friday. We'll make sure that you guys are set up for success there, one way or the other, so look out for that comms. We will never ask for your credit card information, your passwords, anything like that. Again, only trust the official Kabam account. We are going to ask for your in-game title, your in-game name, your alliance tag, and maybe if we're struggling to find it, we'll come back and ask for your top champ on your roster. That's just going to help us lock down where your account is. So again, if you are entering this giveaway, make sure that you are here on twitch.tv/Kabam. Entries on YouTube will not count. If you are watching from any restreams, you will not be eligible. Make sure to hop on over here, twitch.tv/Kabam. Make a quick account. It'll take 30 seconds, and you'll be able to join the 2,000 other summoners who have already entered this giveaway. One final thing worth calling out, if you have an inappropriate screen name, you will not win. If I draw your name and I don't feel that I can say it without getting yelled at on this stream, without having Marvel come and say, "Why did you say that?" then you can't win, because I can't say your name out loud. Now, don't freak out. I had people that were like, "My name was Rat Poop, and you're fine." If you had to try really hard to navigate Twitch's username censor, oh, can I get one of those? Mm-hmm. Thanks. Then, thank you, I appreciate that. Then we have a problem. But by and large, if you're here and you didn't have to jump through those hoops, you're fine. John, who do you want to win? Pick a name from chat that if you had your way, you would win. You would let them win.
I'm not going to do that.
You don't want to do that?
I don't want to do that, because then they're not going to win, and then it's the caster
it's
curse.
your fault.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Triple double, everybody. Thank you for that. That was yummy.
Made it myself.
I appreciate you guys. Keeping me fed here. Again, I'm really excited for the triple double. It's not what it's officially called, the summer double trackpad event. I think it's an exciting time in the contest. I think the game inevitably has ebbs and flows, right? We can't constantly be putting foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, a million pieces of content all the time. But when we get into these situations where there's really cool opportunities and really cool content on the horizon, I think there's such a level of excitement and buzz within the community that's really infectious and really enjoyable. As a community manager, my objective is always to bring as many people together as we can. That's why I like things like our Spring of Sorrow, where we get to see people like strategizing together and trying to help conquer like this big gargantuan test. That's why I love that we created Alliance Raids. Shout out to our team who's worked so hard on all of these things. Hold on, I still have a Timbit in my mouth.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so we're going to build. Basically, we have arcade games through August.
Keep going. Don't stop.
And then we are going to build from there into the end of the year with our final saga. I can tell you our final saga of the year will be 4 months instead of 3 months, and will take us through our 10-year anniversary.
Can you believe that this game is 10 years old soon? That's nuts. Like, the number of games that have reached a 10-year milestone, that accolade is rare company. So a big thank you for us getting that far to everybody who's worked to create this, and also to the summoners who continue to show up and enjoy the game. Like, that's an insane milestone. I hope everyone's really excited for what we have to come for that as well.
It is. I said on the forums that I'm pretty confident we're going for another 10 at least.
I did see you say that, and I went, all right, maybe we'll be driving flying cars by then, too.
Maybe. Well,
who knows?
We'll all have jetpacks, right?
We'll have jetpacks in 10 years. The future.
That's what I was told when I was 10.
Yeah. Saga, what do you want to see in the future from 10 years from now?
In 10 years?
Yeah.
World peace.
Okay. Nerd.
Oh, now my jetpack feels so bad.
Those of you that didn't hear Saga, you said world peace. Oh, man. Yeah, genuinely, though.
I want us to start wearing the same outfit, all of us.
Oh, like just uniforms for all of humanity.
Like those metallic onesies.
That'd be cool. Yeah, like, yeah, too many examples. What? All right.
I was thinking more like school uniforms at work, but no, we're going
Oh
in
my
a different
goodness,
direction.
we got a lot of ideas. And now our biggest idea person, Fenton, what do you want to see in the future? What's your future look like?
Teleportation.
Teleportation. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
Teleportation scares me.
Yep.
Like the.
You have to be broken
the
down.
Star Trek thing, like
Yeah.
there's no continuity. You every time you teleport, you die.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
a
like
different
that.
person.
But maybe my skin would be fresh.
That's terrifying to me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, everybody make sure to get your responses in. There are 2,800 of you. I think that's actually on the high end. I think we normally get 24 to 28. So we're right in that sweet spot. Make sure to get in there. We are going to close it up in a couple of minutes here. While I have you all, I want to give another massive shout out to everybody who works tirelessly behind the scenes to make all of what we do possible, to the game team and the broader game team, all of the teams within. Everybody carries themselves with such a level of passion that you guys don't necessarily get to see. It's why we love to do these live streams, to bring people on and spotlight the stuff that they are most passionate about. And there's so much happening behind the scenes with a gargantuan team of hundreds of people who all care a ton. And a massive thank you to everybody who puts their time and energy into these things because they want to see the success, because they want to be a part of something incredible, and they are through and through. Team is not a guarantee, you know what I mean? Team for me is sacred, and I've said this, maybe not on streams, but team is sacred. The people that work in this room and we work together. You can put a bunch of individuals in a room, but that doesn't mean you get a team. Right? You trust your leaders to lead, you trust your teammates to come together, and that just kind of happens. You have, like, it can't be forced. So to have the group of people that we have working very hard on things and working so well together, that's kind of rare in a lot of senses, and I'm eternally grateful to the people who have such a positive impact on myself, on this game, on this community, everything. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody. Cool. Let's close it up. You have 30 seconds. You have approximately 30 seconds because I'm not counting, and if we're being honest, this watch doesn't work. The battery's dead on it. So 30 seconds approximately. Again, thank you to all of our summoners for being here today. Now there will be, okay, you get more than 30 seconds because I'm going to explain something to you. There will be a quick change here. We used to have a graphic that came up with all of the winner, but in the times before that, we didn't have that, and I would just read our winners. So if you hear your name and see it in chat, you have won. I will be posting a list of all of the winners on likely our summary, our live stream summary, so keep an eye out for that. We'll pull them all, but again, they will be populating in chat. They just happen very quickly. All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Closed. Closed. 3,123. Shout out to Annihilation 20. Oh no, sorry, that's way further down the list. I was going to say is our last entry. Maybe King Buck. But again, the list is very, very long, and they're struggling to keep up here. So let's close. Let's get rid of that. You can no longer enter our giveaway. Thank you and good luck to everybody. Thank you to the mods for banning the term. Well, we're just blocking the term so that we can get some semblance of chat back here. All right, I'm gonna pull 10 names here. If your name is not horrendous, if your name is not offensive, you will hear it shortly. John, you and I can go through these alternating if you'd like.
So the first name will be the first official owner of Beta Ray Bill, right?
Unless they mess around and they don't finish their free summer pass.
They do have to continue playing the game.
Yeah,
so
you can't. It's not just a gimme here.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity, everybody.
Yes.
All right, so we are going to pull our first winner. It is Baharni Bats. Barani Bats. Barani Bats. Everybody, anyone else want to try?
Barani Bats.
Barani Bats. Congratulations. You could be the first person ever to own a Beta Ray William.
The first official owner.
And I can see them now.
That's
so
me.
yeah,
It is
exactly.
you.
That is you.
It is you.
If you win, we get to see your chats
that's
exclusively.
fun.
It pulls it. So
I
let
like
us
that.
know that you're here and that you got it. All right. All right. We are going to pull another one right now, and it is. Oh, this was easy. Harley Quinn 0410. Congratulations. That is 2 of 10. John, you want to read one?
Sure.
All right.
Let's do it.
There you go.
Hercules the First.
Hercules the First, congratulations. That's 3 out of 10. Continuing along here. Karma, a cab. Yeah. Nice. All right, that's 4 of 10 here. We're moving on. to number 5. You want that one?
Hi, Joe Slack 79.
There we go. Keeping it going. There's 5. This is 6. We got Vlad 100. There was 2 A's, so I don't know if you noticed. I held that one. John, back to you here. 7. Oh, you got it easy.
Legs.
Legs with a Z. Yeah, Canada. Legs with a Z. Moving right along, we've got Praveen Sahul. Congratulations. Thank you for being here. Thank you for entering. Congratulations on winning. That's number 8. We got number 9.
Jane's 1985.
Jane's with an S and a Z. Jane's 1985. And our final winner here is Sayfazi. Sayfasi. If we called your name, we will be reaching out to you in the next, probably today, because we got to get that information so that we can get you those passes as soon as we possibly can. That just about wraps up our show. John, a massive thank you to you for coming and sharing all of your knowledge. We're excited to have you back on the 14th. Everybody come back to the stream, twitch.tv/kabam on the 14th. We will be here. We will be discussing victory track changes and why they benefit you. And we will be discussing something new and exciting coming to the contest. I know you've been working hard on. I think people are really going to enjoy. It's going to be very cool. And then we'll probably play a game with the community. We'll maybe do a giveaway. We'll take a look for it. We see a lot of all caps promo codes. There was no promo. We never said that there was. Apologies if you thought otherwise. We will get a... Sorry, just people who lose and then get really mad at us. Tickles me. But come on back on the 14th. We will likely have a promo code there for you. We'll keep you guys posted. Again, we'll let you know as we approach. That's just how things go. Anyone else have anything they want to tell the community? No? We're good? We hit it all? Everyone feels good about it? All right.
Thank you all for showing up at the irregular day and time.
Yeah. Wednesday.
Appreciate it.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Normally we're like, enjoy your weekend, but
It's gonna
enjoy the
feel
rest of
weird
your
that
week.
It's
Yeah.
not, now it should be Friday for us, and
Yeah,
it's not.
exactly.
So the next
Normally
couple
we do-
days are going to be
I'm
rough.
thinking the next today, so.
Yeah, exactly. It is Friday in our minds, so no, we'll go right back to work. Don't worry. I hope everybody enjoyed this stream. Thank you again for your patience as we go through a transitional phase here. I hope I hope you guys stick around and that you enjoyed what we were able to put together for you. So again, come back on the 14th. We will be reaching out to our winners shortly today. Thank you again to everybody for being here. Thank you to everybody who worked so hard behind the scenes to make it happen. James worked tirelessly over the last week to pull together a stream on equipment that he is not familiar with at all. So a big shout out to you, James. You did an incredible job today. Thank you for hauling as much as you could to get this going. We appreciate everything that you were able to do. A shout out to Finton, Sagwa's in the room, Jorge. Big shout out to John, June's in the corner here. Thank you to everybody who worked so hard to make it happen. Thank you to all of our game team for working to create incredible content for everybody. And again, one final thank you to all of our summoners for being here. A shout out to Rob and Mike. We miss you guys. Until next time, my name is Jax. Have fun and play nice, everybody.